All right, I'm Jason Whitlock. That's Marcellus Wiley. That dude.
Yes, sir.
All right, welcome to Speak for Yourself, the most fearless show in sports. Coming up, we'll tell you if Janie Buss needs to fire back at Magic Johnson. We start today with the Warriors. It's clear now that Steph Curry is basketball's Tom Brady. And that just might mean LeBron James is Peyton Manning. That's what immediately crossed my mind in the aftermath of the Golden State Warriors sweep of the Portland Trailblazers last night. Steph Curry has built a basketball culture that rivals the one Brady has cultivated with the New England Patriots. Let's call it plug and play or next man up. The parts are interchangeable and replaceable. The system works best when Curry and Brady are the focus, but it can survive the absence of any part, including its high-profile engine. Last night, the Warriors eliminated Portland in overtime, 119-117, without the services of three of its top six players. Kevin Durant, Boogie Cousins, and Andre Iguodala sat with injuries. This is simply amazing. Curry recorded a triple-double, 37 points, 13 rebounds, and 11 assists. He played 47 minutes total, and every minute of the second half in overtime. Game 4 was his magnum opus. It's the signature game of his career. It's the game that illustrates his value and establishes him as the most important player of his era. Important is different from most valuable. Tom Brady is the GOAT because of his importance to the Patriots way that has produced 6 Super Bowl victories and 9 Super Bowl appearances. The Warriors way is headed to its 5th straight NBA Finals. They're the first squad to go to 5 straight since the Boston Celtics dominated a 9-team league. LeBron James is more valuable than Stephen Curry, but King James is not as important. Curry's style of play has changed the NBA, and his team-first mindset has created a consistent culture of winning. LeBron James can't claim either one of those things. Steph is Brady, LeBron is Manning. It was just 10 years ago that nearly everyone thought Manning was superior to Brady. In 2009, Manning won his 4th MVP award and played in his 2nd Super Bowl. 4 years later, Manning won a 5th MVP, and most people still thought he was the GOAT. Brady's won 3 Super Bowl titles since then and has ended the GOAT debate. That's where we're headed with LeBron versus Steph. Winning eventually overwhelms individual talent and individual accomplishment. And yes, today there's a debate about what's more impressive, LeBron's individual streak of 8 straight finals appearances or Golden State's 5 straight. That conversation will end in June if the Warriors win their 4th title in 5 years. LeBron's streak in a weakened Eastern Conference is impressive, but it's nowhere near the equal of winning 4 titles in 5 years. LeBron is a spectacular individual talent who struggles to produce the kind of continuity and stability necessary to build a sustainable culture. His unwillingness to partner with any head coach has cost him titles. It's undermined his pursuit of Michael Jordan. Steph Curry has produced the dynasty that rivals Michael Jordan's Bulls. If Curry finishes with 5 or 6 titles in Golden State, he'll join Kobe Bryant as yet another NBA legend more important than LeBron. All right, joining the desk now are a couple of NBA champions, Kendrick Perkins, and for the first time, B.J. Armstrong. Welcome. All right, Marcellus, we'll start with you. Will Steph have a greater legacy than even LeBron James?
No, he won't. And I won't make this mistake of exaggerating an individual's greatness based on team success. I wasn't raised that way. That's not the way I threw the ball around the park. That's not the way I was recruited to go to high school. Violation. College, having Thanksgiving at the alum's house. Violation. I was never raised that way. But, getting into the big business of pro sports, we understand that this is a TV show and many of conversations will spur from what happens on the field, on the court. I look at it this way. You know me, my favorite sport is track. And track is the first sport, and it's the simplest sport. And it always answers all of athletics riddles. Here's the one that solves right here. Watch a team run a relay, and there's one question you will ask everybody. Who won? What did they run in terms of time? And then the real astute, the smart track purist would say, let me see those splits. You know what a split is? Who did what to get them to that position? When you start looking at the splits, LeBron James has run the fastest split of these two. Even though Steph's team will cross the finish line more times with the gold on, Who ran the fastest split? No conversation. LeBron James.
Let me just, before y'all...
Oh, we got to say that.
Because you won't believe this, but once upon a time, I ran the 4x100 relay. And sometimes, you know what was more important than the splits?
What?
How you pass that baton.
You ain't lying. Got to get that thing around.
And nobody passes the baton better than Steph.
Great point.
Will Steph's legacy outshine LeBron's?
Well, you're looking at two players that have had an enormous impact on the game of basketball. From an individual standpoint, LeBron James, what he's done athletically and what he's been able to achieve in performing the way he's performed speaks for itself. Steph Curry, on the other hand, you look at his team and what he's been able to do to implement his skill set into a team, which we all seem, for whatever reason, we seem to be able to identify with more than just the great individual talent. I think what Steph Curry has done, he's really transformed the game where at one point in this league, we were an inside-out league, and now we're saying we're an outside-in. So Steph Curry's impact on the game, as you're seeing it now, is really having an impact on the way we teach the game, the way the game is played, but more importantly, how we defend and we view the game. We're looking, Steph Curry did something last night to me was as unique as I've seen. Late in that fourth quarter, he was open from 2, and he traveled trying to get back to 3.
Yeah.
And no one said anything.
Well, his brother did.
Yeah, because that's the way the game is played now. The analytics has really made this game now to where bigs like Kendrick, all of a sudden now we value small ball, and you're seeing the impact that it's having.
Well, the way this barbershop is played and the way we run it, which one's going to have the greater legacy? You got to pick that. Come on, BJ. This ain't agent talk right here. We over in the barbershop.
I think LeBron James will have because of the individual, we're always looking for the great individual talent, and LeBron James is a standalone player.
Perk?
Okay, so I'm going to take Marcella's approach, and I'm going to the stat sheet today, okay? So, individually, LeBron James has 32,000 points, 8,000 assists, 8,000 rebounds. Probably is going to be the only player to finish with a 30,000, 10,000, 10,000. He's a 3-time champ, 3 times final MVP, a 4 times MVP, 15-time All-Star, 3-time All-Star MVP, 12-time first-team All-NBA, 5-time first-team All-Defensive Team.
That's my baby.
9 times to the finals. 9 times to the finals. And in 2019, this past year, he had the #1 jersey sale, #1 top shoe sale.
Again.
Every time LeBron James leave a franchise, the next year the franchise is in the lottery. He's the only guy that I've seen. LeBron had coming out of high school, his expectations for him was through the roof.
Yeah.
He got tattooed on his back, the chosen one, and from the day he stepped into the NBA, he lived up to the expectations. And no knock on Steph Curry, he's doing a great job over there, and they're building a dynasty, and he's like BJ said, he's changed the game. Steph Curry is a phenomenal player. He will go down in the Hall of Fame. But at the end of the day, we cannot sit up here and say we go decide the legacy between winning championships. Because if that's the case, then that means Robert Horry was better than Kevin Garnett. Yes, it is, because we're not about to sit up here and say, oh, Robert Horry was better than Charles Barkley because he didn't have rings.
I know.
So we're not about to say winning championships define your legacy. This man is arguably the greatest player when you putting him on the side of Michael Jordan that ever played a game of basketball. So to me, this is apples and oranges, and it's a disrespect to LeBron James in the utmost.
Whitlock. I heard it. And as a football person, I've heard all this argument. I heard it for all throughout the 2000s, the 2010s, Peyton Manning stats and blah. You could run them all, and 5-time MVP and blah blah blah. And it all sounded good to me. I'm from Indianapolis, and it all, until it got to a point where, like, damn, Brady done won 6 Super Bowls, and for 20 years he has powered that organization and created a culture. And all of a sudden, the debate just quit. It quit coming down to just stats. And Robert Horry and a bunch of other guys ain't in this conversation because they never drove a team. This guy is driving a team, and these accomplishments, winning is what it's all about at the end of the day.
And I think Steph thrives in this system with Golden State.
Yeah.
I think Draymond and Klay make Steph just like Steph makes them. I think they cohesive.
Yeah.
But can you take Steph Curry? You could take Tom Brady and put him on the Dallas Cowboys, and he probably could take the Cowboys to a Super Bowl or win a Super Bowl. Can you take Steph Curry and go put him on today's Chicago Bulls and expect high expectations for the Chicago Bulls? No, you could take LeBron James and put him on Chicago Bulls, and they instantly become a playoff and a contender team.
Kendrick, and that's great that you just said that. But I just watched LeBron James show up to Los Angeles. They did not play in April, May. They're not in the playoffs.
Yeah, but listen to this. Before he got hurt, they was a top 5 seed. Before LeBron James got hurt,
and there was 2 games out of 10th place as well. They was hanging by.
And that's why the barbershop never closes, and it takes so long to get your damn haircut. Y'all be making up all these.
Listen though, but I'm a fan of Steph, man. I am, man.
It's not disrespectful to have this conversation.
No, it's not. I'm a fan of Steph. What the Golden State Warriors did last night, that was beautiful basketball. I haven't seen that in a while. Beautiful from top to bottom. Steve Kerr needs to get credit for that because he put guys in position to be successful, and I'm not taking nothing from Steph. Steph is a phenomenal player, and he's going to go down in the Hall of Fame. But at the end of the day, are you going to put Steph on Mount Rushmore?
Absolutely.
Really?
If this continues and he gets to a 5th or 6th title, and just like BJ has said, even more so than Michael Jordan, and I think, I won't say more so, because Jordan's impact was incredible. Yeah. But in terms of changing the way we play the game, the way we view the game, everything, Steph Curry has done that. It's his league. But it's a 3-point shooting league.
I'm going to tell you.